Hi everyone, we're just getting set up.
Hello, hello.
Everyone a chance to come on in and get settled. Feel free to turn on your monitor, but we just ask that right now you keep your microphones off. We're just getting everyone a chance to come on into the room and get settled. Oops, always forget that step. Oops, didn't want to do that.
What'd you do?
I need to mute the YouTube. All right, so here we are. Joy, while I'm admitting people, why don't you go ahead and get us started with an introduction?
All righty. Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
let me spotlight you.
Okay. Hey there, everybody. I am so excited to see everybody's patriotic hats. My name is Joy McDonnell. Kesley and I are sisters, and we had a crazy idea this summer to go ahead and get people inspired to make hats to wear at the Women's March because we were part of standing in that crowd in 2017 wearing our pink pussy hats, and we just felt like what a great opportunity to do this again and to repeat it, but in a new and a different kind of way. So Kesley and I just have been our own two little selves trying to just get everybody inspired. That means that we have been able to generate patterns, knitting patterns, and crochet patterns and videos and all the things that you've been seeing. We started the Hats for Harris Facebook page. So if you're not part of that, please feel free to join there. We give lots of tips, tricks, answer questions. It's a community area where y'all can talk to each other. So it's a great resource to have. Trying to think of all the different ways. Of course, all the YouTube videos that we have the original patriotic hat in knit, and we have it also in crochet, step-by-step videos that you can follow. And then we just this last week, I think, we introduced how to do the hats in a solid color because some people just wanted to be able to do a solid. So we have that in crochet and knit. And on our Hats for Harris page, we asked some questions. So we'll get into answering everybody's questions. And um, and then we'll get our meeting kicked off. So that's kind of like a good little intro, right, Kes?
Yeah, great, Joy. Thank you.
All
So Joy
righty.
is Joy has been the one doing the videos and the patterns for us and everything like that. That is her jam. So she's the excellent one at that, and I'm more the behind the scenes logistical one. So we wanted to talk a little bit about why we're doing this and sort of share the vision for Hats for Harris. As Joy mentioned, we came up with this project idea while we were vacationing together, and it just kind of it just felt right for us. I had been working myself for about 2 years to reclaim my patriotism. I was angry that I felt like I couldn't wear something patriotic or even recognize that I was excited to be an American and celebrate my country. So I had been struggling for about a year trying to reclaim that year, 2 years, trying to reclaim that for myself. And when this project idea came up, I was like, yeah, because everyone I talked to about it was also having that same struggle of, well, I don't want to hang up my American flag because um I don't want to I don't want somebody to think I'm MAGA. So that was kind of the overall impetus and why we went for the patriotic style hat, because we really felt like we weren't alone having these feelings, and so we wanted to bring in more people and share this awesome idea with as many people as we could. And Joy did mention the Women's March in 2017 and the pink pussy hats, and what an amazing statement that made. And we kind of got to envisioning of wow, can you imagine if everybody got together and they reclaimed their patriotism and we were wearing red, white, and blue hats and really, flooding the National Mall on November 2nd with the Women's March, really making just a huge statement that we are not going back. We are moving forward and we're reclaiming what we may have unwittingly given up. So that was kind of why this was so important, and the Women's March was such a turning point for us to do this, as well as I'm anticipating and hopeful and joyful that we will also be able to wear our hats for the inauguration for Kamala Harris in 2025. So that is my vision, and just imagine, like, when she looks out at the mall and sees just a sea of red, white, and blue, and people supporting her and excited for her administration coming into it. So it's sort of a twofold, and supporting Harris and Walls, as well as being part of the Women's March and letting everybody know that we are here for women's rights and we're not going to back down. We see a feminist future and we're going to make that happen one stitch at a time. So if you are not familiar with the Women's March, I just want to share, well, I'll do that in a minute. Joy, did you want to add, because somebody made a really great statement about the style of the hat we were doing, and I'm kind of hoping you could share that with everybody.
Yes. And I need to find that post. It's on our Facebook page on the Hats for Harris. But the the whole the whole purpose of the pussy hat, it stood up as a strong hat, and it had its reason for being cat-like and that at the time. So the idea of taking the patriotism and reinventing what that cat hat looked like for so many reasons, it gave the reason for why it has to be in this shape to make the statement that it's making. It's making this statement for women's rights. It's making this statement for what we don't want to give up. It's making the statement for what we do believe in and the need for unity and togetherness. So within our Facebook page, and I will find it before the end of the night and give credit to the person who wrote it, but somebody wrote very eloquently those words and that statement. And that's why Kesley and I have felt very strongly that it needs to have the architecture of the cat hat. And JD Vance sort of also gave us another reason to all of us cat owners who may or may not have children, may be single, may not be single, whatever. And then, our friend doubled down on it last night with talking about immigrants eating our pets. So we definitely, we need this shape. The shape is really saying so many things. And every time we turn around, the shape just needs to be there. Cats are coming up for so many reasons and in so many ways. So that architecture, that strength, the boldness of what it is, the way it is not what you usually see and it's not what you usually expect, that's why it has to be different.
With that being said, though, we know, like, we want everybody just to do what they love and what makes you happy. So if this style of structure of hat really isn't your jam, but you really love the patriotism and you want to be part of Hats for Harris, feel free to make your hat in it's freedom hat. So feel free to make your hat whatever style sparks joy for you. If that is, just a pointed hat with a puff on it, don't feel like, oh, I can't be part of the Hats for Harris because I don't want to make that style hat. Do what makes you happy and what gives you joy. We just want to share sort of like why we embraced the style again instead of going with something different. I do have a little bit of a slideshow. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, Joy, and talk about our very exciting upcoming news. If we can get a little roll call here.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's going to be super excited about this. Let me go to here. Present. Okay. Oh, that's my last slide. We'll slip back here. Okay, so here is the exciting news that we have for you. We are ready for you to send in hats today. if you if you are working on your own hat or hats for friends, and you have people asking you for hats, that is awesome. Keep knitting them or crocheting. If you are looking for ways to be involved in the Women's March, maybe you can't be here, but you want to support the Women's March and support the vision, you can now send your hats for Harris to this address, care of me, at 2915 Hunter Mill Road, number 26 in Oakton, Virginia, 22124. If you just want to take a picture of the screen with your camera, or you can write this down. We'll also post this in the Facebook group, and this recording will be available after the event. So you can have lots of opportunities to grab this address. Now, when you send in your hats, we will go on November 2nd, very early in the morning, and stake out a spot in DC to hand out the hats, which was probably the highlight of the November 17th Women's March for myself and Joy. We were able to volunteer and participate in handing out hats. So the women on the left, the three women, they're holding hats that had been made and were put in a Ziploc baggie with a note from the crafter. So somebody who wasn't able to be at the march in DC but wanted to be part of it, they were able to send in their hat. I get kind of goosebumps thinking about it, but they were able to send in their hat, and we distributed them to anybody on the mall. And everybody was so excited to get a handmade hat and wear the hat. So that was just something super cool and very exciting, which we are excited to roll out to you guys today and get the announcement. Now, also with tonight's exciting news, we March for Women's March also updated their website. So if you go to the website, we won't go back.com/march. That is where they have started putting up information. And if you notice the banner across their page right here are our hats. So very excited to see that. That made my day. The information is evolving and changing, so you'll want to go back here, but you can register to volunteer, to march, to be a participant in it, as well as find out information on the Washington, D.C. March, as well as sister marches across the country, because if it's the same as last time, there were marches in every city. So keep your eyes on that, and we'll keep our eyes on that as well. But we do have the DC March going. All right, that was my big news, and now Joy's big news. Joy, you get to take it away on our patterns. The new pattern.
Yes. So we had some folks. Not everybody not everybody felt like they were prepared or at the skill level yet to do the color work in the hats. I've also seen so many people who have stretched their skills and tried something new. So I'm very proud to see how many people have been able to do this. But we got word that some folks want to also be able to make hats to donate and be able to make them really fast. So we did a solid color hat in knitting. We did it in 3 different weights. The step-by-step instructions are off the medium weight, which is your like your acrylic, the things that you can get easily at the store. And then I also have one for a DK weight. So that gives you 3 solid colors, and then your solid color crochet too. Now, the cool thing is that Kesley and I, we've been crafters our whole lives. So crafting just can't stop. It just doesn't stop. And the fun part is you dream about this at night. And so I was making the solid hats, and I thought, well, what else could we do with the solid hats if we just wanted to add a little something extra? So we're going to talk about what we can do with that as something extra as a little bit later on tonight. But I want you to also think about a solid color hat as a blank canvas, as something that can be ready to accept something else. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute because I haven't mentioned that as we're speaking right now, we have one more video that's loading, and that is for this hat that is a bulky weight hat. It's made from Lion Brand's Wool Ease. I love the variegated, this one. But this one is made with red, white, and blue in stripes, and it's knit flat. So for folks who don't like knitting in the round, this is knit on straight needles, and it still has the color changes. So you still get the fun red, white, and blue, but it's a little for some people who are just really feeling like they're very beginner, this gives them a chance to get in there. So we have that. And do you guys want a sneak peek for next week's video? Yeah?
Yes, of course we do. And
Okay.
guys, just a reminder, sorry, Joy, if you're in the chat, feel free to send your messages to everybody and not just me. I love seeing them, but I think everybody would like to see what you guys are saying. So I'm getting a couple messages. If you have a question, definitely send that directly to me and I'll pop that into Joy. But just a general question, feel free to put that in the chat to
I
everyone.
can't, Kelsey, I can't get everybody. I'm just seeing the co-hosts on my chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me see if I
For
can
some
change
reason,
that
I
on
can't send a message to everybody. I don't know what the deal is.
I just fixed it. I'm sorry. There were those three little dots with the drop down menu.
Those three little dots.
Did that change it?
Let me check. Let me check.
Okay. Okay.
Chat.
Thank you.
Hold on here. Ah, there we go. There it is. There it is.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, everyone's awesome.
And
Thank you.
yeah, so okay. Is there going to be any more new crochet versions? Because this one, you know, if I can do a real quick one, I'll be willing to donate some. But it has to be really fast because this took me a while.
Yeah, that solid one that I just showed you, super, super fast. It's half double crochets. You do the brim and then it's half double crochets. So that's a nice fast one. And then you can also just do just a flat blanket and fold it in half and sew the seams, and that'll do the trick too. So
But there's patterns for that there's going to be new patterns for the flat or for the quick crochet one.
yes, I have
Okay.
a new pattern and a new
Video.
video.
The video helped a lot.
Good, good, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, so there's a new video and that pattern is available as well. And Kesley will have the links in here. I'm sure as we're going along, she's usually dropping in links too. But okay,
Joy,
so
I haven't updated those.
yes. But the links are also, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you've gotten used to going to my YouTube channel, everything's there. And the link to the pattern is in the description of the video. So I try to give you everything as you go. If you look down in that description in the video, I try to give you everything that you would need. But yeah, just trying to cover all the bases. Okay, so for the fun part, we're going to learn a new crochet stitch next week. You guys might already know it. I did not know it. It's called, Kesley, I always mess it up, the waistcoat stitch.
Yeah.
And it's also got another name, like a middle something or another, middle something. I don't know.
It's also like a crochet. It's a crochet, like a knit, crochet knit. I think it's called.
But what it does is it looks like a knitting stitch. So it gives you the chance to do some duplicate stitch on top. This I did with a cross stitch on top of the hat so that we can add a message. And then on the other side is a little Kamala on the other side. And then I have, those are the crochet ones. My knitting ones are, I've just finished knitting this hat and it's going to get ready for its little embellishment. This is the solid color. This is the solid pattern for knitting. And all I did was just change the color in the rib and at the top, which gave me that little canvas. And then I'll do a duplicate stitch on here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm sure it'll be cute. because all of Kamala Harris's branding is adorable. So I'll pick something from her and add that in there and then teach you guys how to do that as well. So next week, we're going to start embellishing our hats and adding some fun things to them.
So Drake, would you kind of just go over your new patterns? I did drop a link to the YouTube, but will you just sort of go over like what stitch you used on the brim and on the hat part of it? And
Yeah.
then would you, yeah, for both the crochet and the knit?
Yes. So for the crochet, I use the same rib brim, but it goes so much faster when you're not doing the multiple colors. So I just followed that same brim stitch and then picked up the stitches the same way that you would have that you did in the striped one, the patriotic hat. But instead of doing the color work on the top, just did half double crochets all the way straight up and then finished it off. Just did a seam across the top. So it makes it go pretty fast. I would say within an hour or two, I can make one of those hats. So it's fast.
Awesome. So I'm sorry, I was responding to somebody. Was that was the crochet version or that was the knit version?
That was the crochet version.
Okay.
The knit version, the only, if you're just thinking this is a solid color hat, I don't know if it's better to show you the white one or a
Yeah,
dark color.
do you want to why don't you put it on your overhead camera, Joy? I'll spotlight that one.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll have both of them.
Yeah, got all this stuff
Oh,
going
you know
on.
what? Forget it. Your camera's sideways.
Oh, I'm sideways. Okay, never
That's
mind.
okay. Come on back.
Sorry, I can only get so much straight in one day. But this one, I elongated the rib just a little bit more. And then it's just stockinette stitch to the top and a 3-needle bind off across the top instead of the Kitchener stitch. So, which can go a little bit faster depending, So, you can do that in a DK weight. You can do that in like an acrylic with a size 8 needle, or I did a size 6 bulky. I just made the brim a little shorter and then still did the stockinette with the 3-needle bind off. And this is more kind of like what we had done with the pink hats back in 2017. So those are just solid colors so that we can get those going fast. But then we got to have the fun stuff. And then this one that I'm wearing right now is a really fast knit. It is done on straight needles. This is a size 6 bulky. It's that Woolies by Lion Brand. Thick and Quick is what they call it. And I used size 13 knitting needles that are 10 inches long. And it just zips right up. And I'll show you the inside because I know you're thinking, what did she do with all those edges? That girl's crazy. But I just did a mattress stitch up the top and wove in that end. And then on the other side, I just knotted the pieces together. I know in knitting we're not supposed to knot, but given what this is and what it's for, just making some knots real quick is nice and easy and it's fast. So, and I thought this was a cute hat. It still gave the patriotic feeling. I felt a little bit more than just the solid ones, but she's quick to make up.
I love it. I love it. And so I think somebody posted in the Facebook group a solid one, and I was like, I'm getting marching vibes, like getting everybody in position if they make red hats in a row, then a row of white hats, and like just doing a whole flag, marching band style. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Great.
That was one of the things about all those pictures that day. And I remember I'm in Los Angeles and I got there really early. And but I remember just, everything just being packed and being there just down. It was hundreds of thousands of us, 500,000 of us there. But the pictures from above were a sea of pink. And that was just so incredibly
Adding you in there,
powerful.
Anita.
Pardon me?
You're on with us. I got your
Okay.
camera on. That's
Oh,
okay.
okay, that's fine. So,
Mhm.
where I'm coming from is that the visual from above was solid pink. And I love this idea of a visual of stripes of white and blue. And just if we can figure out a way for us to do that, that would
Yes.
just be really fantastic.
Wouldn't it be
S-
great? And I think if we've got time after November, after the Women's March, to keep knitting until Inauguration Day.
Yes, yes, we do. So my question there would be from a pattern perspective, maybe that's something that to think about is from a pattern perspective, would that be solid, or, just solid reds, whites, and blues? Or, mix them in with the patriotic hat. Everyone I've shown the patriotic hat to just loves it. And I've got 4 of these done in the last week. Well, almost. I've got to do the Kitchener on the tops. Um, but any ideas about that? That might be some kind of structure would be great for this group to put together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
I
really
love
like
it.
that. I really like that question. And if I make my camera go just a little bit higher, you would be able to see the picture that she's talking about of the sea of pink hats. And I think yeah, even if they are the patriotic version with the color work with the stars in it, or if the hats, the heads alone are just all wearing red, white, and blue, I think that would do the trick too in making that sea of just that look. Um, people generally wear a lot of blue, so I feel like a little bit more red and white is going to be helpful in terms of making that picture pop if we imagine that from above. But yeah, that's the idea, is just getting that picture. How do we make that happen again?
I love it. Okay, so Joy, um, one other thing about, so we've got some really fun patterns. You've talked a little bit about the different yarns. Did you have some other yarns that you wanted to share? I thought
I
maybe we could do that and I could share my yarn.
Yes, because I want you to share yours. Kesley and I had a little
Well,
discussion about yarn in like exploring and finding and where we're shopping and what we're looking for, and we both found a few different things. um I love going, clearly I love yarn. I'm all about yarn. But I wanted to find some options that were some things that you could use beyond what you might purchase at a big box store in terms of just an acrylic, if you wanted to make something that was special for you, if you were only going to make one hat. And Cascade Yarns has a really nice merino 220 that it's called 220 Superwash Merino, and it makes up a really, really nice hat. One of my other favorites that's very much like the wool that Kesley and I found in Iceland is by Sandness Garn, and it's called Double Sunday, and it makes a beautiful, beautiful version as well. Kes, that looks so cute.
I know that's so
And
funny. Somebody was saying, Joy, while you're playing up your next yarn, somebody was talking about their like corners got like really floppy. And I don't know if I communicated it well enough in my reply to you, but if you just take like some thread and stitches, you can stitch your ears and give it a little bit more of a formed look. So just like take some needle and thread and go right in there, and it really gives it like a formed look so that if it got a little bit too big up here, you can just do that, because I know we didn't design these so that they could flip up like that, because we didn't want you to have to do more rows of stitching. So that's like one way that I did it. Okay, sorry.
no, that's totally good. Yeah, you could even put some puff in there. If you were going to do your little stitches, you put a little puff in there and that would
I
work.
love it.
Okay, so Kes, can I talk about the yarn that we both ordered?
Yes, but I didn't get my yarn yet. And I got another version of, and I mean, like this is the red heart yarn, so these will knit up. I'll do these in a real simple stitch so that I can donate hats I make out of this. I did order this on Amazon, just saying. Okay, and then Joy, yep, and then we also have Rachel here. So once you're done with that, we'll pop Rachel on and let her introduce herself.
Okay, should we do that first?
No, go ahead and do yours. Go ahead and show your yarn.
Okay, so this one, there's an indie knitter, an indie dyer who put up some wool, and Kesley and I were like, we have to have it. So if you guys really want to get something fun, this is called Pearls, Chucks, and Zero. And it is dyed with charcoal. It's got some reds, some blues. I bought this. I'm not a sponsor or anything like that. Her name is finchmod.com, FINCH.MOD. And this feels
She's
authentic.
making a donation too of all from her sales of the yarn. She's making a donation to Harrison Walls, but it is, and she's got like her little videos knitting it up. It's really cute.
Yeah.
All right. So let me bring on Rachel. I gotta find her again. Rachel, I'm gonna go ahead and get you to unmute while I try and find your camera. Here we are. All right.
Hi
There we
guys.
go. There we go. Rachel, tell us a
Greetings
little
from
bit about you.
what my name is Rachel. Obviously, I am in Oklahoma, just a little bit northeast of the Tulsa area, so northeastern Oklahoma. I actually own a brick and mortar yarn store, and one of the ways I decided I wanted to help in this current season is rather than speaking directly to policy or to politics, even in general, I decided to set up a voter registration display in my front lobby because I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need people to all agree on every single thing, but are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to get to your polling location? Do you know where your polling place is? Because Oklahoma changes them very, very often, so people don't know. Um, have you requested an absentee ballot if you don't think you can make it to the polls? Do you need to have it notarized? Because one of the Oklahoma laws is that an absentee ballot must be notarized. And if not, I'm a notary public just for that reason. And I'm happy to notarize your ballots. Um, just making sure that as many people as possible have access to that fundamental right, because I feel very deeply that the only way to get the best representation possible is to have as many people voting as possible. Um, and like I said, I'm in Oklahoma. I'm in a very, very deeply red state,
Mhm.
surrounded by a lot of people who disagree with me, but are happy to help me push this along a little bit.
That's
Wow.
awesome. And that I think that also goes into why we did the patriotic style of the hats, is it really is for everyone. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, the hat is we can all wear the hats, no matter what your political affiliation is, no matter, which, who you support, we can all wear these hats. But Rachel, you've also were telling Joy about you set up a display for your customers when they came in,
I
not just with the
do.
registration.
Oh, but it's a sorry, I've had too much coffee and not enough food today. It's mostly a voter registration display, but we are featuring just different patriotic knits and crochet projects. Um, Unrelated to voting, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but we also feature a different charity every quarter, and all of the yarn for those charities has been donated by the store or by customers so that we can contribute and give back to our community locally and nationally. And that there's not a barrier to participating. If you don't know how to knit or crochet, sit down, we'll teach you. You don't have the funds for the tools and the yarn, here's some tools and yarn. You can give of your time and give back. And it's been a really great experience. So I'm hoping that we can do the same thing with the hats, with the patriotic hats, and really connect with more people than we may otherwise be able to.
I love that. That is awesome. Well, keep us updated on how it's going and how it
Yeah.
changes. And Anita would like to know, can she tell others in Oklahoma about this? Like, tell us
Yeah.
again the name of your
Yes.
store, if you have a
Yeah,
website, how we find you.
absolutely. Our store's name is Community Fibers. and we're in Claremore, Oklahoma, so a little bit outside of the Tulsa metro. Our website is communityfibers with an s.com. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram under those handles as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And you'll keep us updated in the Facebook group of how things are going and everything, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thanks
We're
so
Thanks
much,
for having
Rachel.
me.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we appreciate all that you're doing. You're doing amazing.
Yes, thank you.
We're trying.
Okay, Joy, Sandra also would like the name of that fancy Chuck's yarn you showed, and if you'll tell us who it's from again, that'd be awesome.
Yes, the name is Pearls, Chucks, and Zero points. And it's from her website is Finch Mod, F as in Frank, INCHMOD.com. So visit her and get some of this beautiful wool. It came out really fast. This is, and she's fantastic the way she's marked the back of her label. It's a 4 weight, so that's perfect if you're using an 8, if you're using a size 8 needle, or if you're using an H crochet hook, that's the right size. It's 220 yards, which is probably enough. I mean, you might be able to get 2 hats out of one skein. And or if you added like a little bit of a different color with it on a brim or a stripe or something, you could definitely get 2 hats out of one skein. And it's a superwash, so you can give it to your friends who might not understand how to treat wool properly, which is always a good thing.
I love that. I love that. All right, cool. So I'm trying to, before we go into our last little segment of tonight, was there anything else we wanted to go over? Did anybody have any questions about the hats, the patterns, or anything like that before we move on of what we've shown you? Joy, did we spill all the tea that we needed to spill? We gave them the information about sending them in, the new patterns and some teasers. We may have to put Anita in charge of coming to DC and get everybody lined up in our flag for our aerial view.
Yes.
So we have to do like a fundraiser for Anita to get her out here from the West Coast. But yeah, I just want to give anybody a chance if you wanted to drop anything in, because the way Joy and I were thinking, we wanted to end this evening. We have each other, and I'm in Northern Virginia, so although they question if Virginia is a red state, a blue state, certain parts of Virginia are really, really red, and certain parts are really, really blue. I live in more of a purple area than maybe other places in Virginia, but that's sort of where I am. But we have each other to chit chat about this, and we wanted to open it up if anybody wanted to share your thoughts of now we are recording this. It is going on. It will be on YouTube. So keep that in mind on what you're sharing. But if anybody felt like you just wanted a minute to share what you're feeling or what you're experiencing, or anything like that, if you want to raise your hand, I'll spotlight you, and we can you can share your thoughts. Just if you have something you want to share from the debate, something resounded with you, if you're more motivated, what you might be doing in your community, like Rachel, to expand voter registration. I think that's probably the next thing we all need to focus on, if we can, is expanding that voter registration, checking in with your friends, whether you talk about politics exactly or not, but like, are you registered to vote? So if anybody wants to pipe in.
Kesley, Vicky Lynn has her hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I really thank you ladies for actually putting this pattern and making it so easy for even a beginner like myself. I mean, I have never done anything like this in my life. I used to crochet a long time ago, but I have never done, and the fact that I was able to use your videos and connect the color, the white, the red, go to the blue, put the stars, I mean, it's not perfect, but it came out. So I'm really happy about that. You know, I haven't, you know, I have I don't know if you guys have heard of Red Wine and Blue, but I'm the organizer of a Good Trouble, San Jose Good Trouble Posse, Trouble Nation group here in San Jose, California. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be doing yet in terms of my first activity. Thank you, Marcy. But I am going to be, you know, I post stuff on there about Project 2025. I post your videos. I actually posted these videos and said, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. So I posted your videos on my Good Trouble page. You know, and, you know, posting videos, because I've gone to a lot of these things like, you know, debate prep with the West Wing cast yesterday, and, you know, Jewish women for Kamala, and, you know, comedians for Harris. And there's a lot of these grassroots organizations that I've been to. And so I've been posting them on my page. But again, I just wanted to tell the ladies who came up with this, who crafting, you know, they craft in their sleep kind of thing. Thank you.
Aw,
You're-
thanks so
thank
much,
you.
Vicki.
You're so
We
welcome.
appreciate it.
All
right,
So now
Elena,
I got
time for
extra
you.
white thread, so I'm gonna make myself I'm gonna make a couple white ones and send them over to you guys. Yeah, exactly. I may not make a lot, but because it does take me a while, but
You'll get there.
yeah.
All right, Selena, if you want to unmute, we can. You don't.
Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
You are.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Joy, I'm Dee, the person that, yeah, so, yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
Dee.
Yeah, so, Joy and I have been, communicating a little bit. I have a shop on Etsy, and I'm putting together, kits for people who maybe, you know, just don't want to go out and find the yarn, or just want to get enough yarn to make a hat. And you can either get the yarn, or you, I'm also providing all of the other notions that are there too. And I'll make a donation to the Harris Walls campaign for each one that is sold. So I can post, I guess I can put a link in the chat to the listing if you're interested, or, you know, if you know anyone that might be interested. I'm making the kits up now.
Wonderful. I love that you're making the kits and that you're getting that available, because not everybody has a yarn shop or a place where they can buy the yarn. So thank you.
Right.
for doing
And
what
I
you-
remember when with the pink hats, I remember going to my local yarn store and they were all out of pink. And, you
Mhm.
know, so, but you've given a lot of options to people. I hope that doesn't happen, but, you know, it's there if people need them.
I have to say, I hope it does happen. I hope
Yeah.
we get so many people, because in knitting and crocheting, that the yarn companies are like, how did we miss this? We gotta jump on this. So yeah, I love that. I love that you're doing that. And did I see that you sold out of your first set of kits?
No, I didn't sell.
Oh.
I just posted them. And they're starting to sell, and you know, I hope I sell out of all the yarn I bought. So
That's awesome. Well, we're all gonna help you do that.
Here to
Thank you.
support you. And that's another thing Kesley and I definitely want to tell the group is that you know, we're really super busy doing what we're doing to just pull the campaign together to get like Kesley said, she's on the back end doing the marketing and making the patterns and things. So we're here to support people who might want to make hats and sell them. We'll connect those kinds of people together. You know, whatever idea you have, reach out to us. We're here to collaborate and work with everybody. There's no holds barred. We're just here to play.
And I forgot one little thing. So Joy's the knitter and the crocheter. More so, she's way more talented than I am. I just dabble in it for fun. But one of the things I do a lot is I use my Cricut machine and I teach Cricut classes. So I'm always all my shirts I've made and things like that. And I have them on my profile in Cricut in Design Space if you want to go there. But I get my artwork a lot from a website called Creative Fabrica. I'm so sorry. 1 second.
One of those days.
Too much talking today. But I did make my own design, and I'm super super excited about this. So you may have noticed, I think last week's shirt, I was wearing a red shirt and I had a little hat and it said, do something. So I was so tickled with the design that if you send in a hat donation, one hat, 20 hats, whatever, if you send in a hat donation in your box, if you would put a self-addressed stamped envelope with your address, I will send you out a vinyl decal that has our little hat and it says Harris Walls 24. And it's a permanent vinyl decal. So you can put on a bumper sticker, on your car window. You can put it on a notebook, on your laptop, whatever you want to do with it. We're going to send it out now. If you want to, I intend to put one in every box, but if you send in 10 hats and you're like, just put a little sticky note that says, hey, I want to give these to my friends. Could you give me 10 of the decals? I would be happy to do that. We really want to encourage everybody to just get one hat donated, send it to us. I'm really excited to do that. That's always the fun part, to reveal those hats we get to see. So, but I want to do a little something, a little thank you. So we're going to send you a little decal.
Thank you, Kesley.
Yep.
Kesley is she is the Cricut crafting genius. We share our skills.
Yeah. So
All right,
Margie's asking.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Margie was asking, what is the deadline for hats to arrive? Margie, I'll take hats all the way up until November 1st. I think that would be on a Friday. If they get here by then, we will take all the hats. I think ideally if they get in the mail about October 23rd, they should get to us with plenty of time. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. They should get to us with plenty of time. And so we'll take those all with us. If they happen to get here a little bit later and the election goes the way that we want, we will be continuing to do this for the inauguration. So if for some reason they get here late, we will just hold on to them and then we'll have them for the inauguration.
Yes, and Kesley and I grew up in Washington, D.C., going to inauguration. So this would be the best inauguration for us to go to.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I know.
Yeah.
I shake my head because
I was like, why'd you?
I know, because like we didn't really grow up in Washington, D.C. We grew up in Rockville, Maryland. But when people ask, like, if you live in this area, if you live in the DMV and people say, where are you from? You normally say like DC. Even though I live in Virginia, I still say DC. I grew up in Rockville and I still say I grew up in Rockville, but whatever. Our football team is in Virginia, but they're the Washington Commanders.
Go figure.
Okay. We're just a big melting pot of people here in the DMV. All right. So guys, thank you all so much. If anybody else didn't want to miss anybody, we do have another Zoom. I think it's on the 19th, Joy. I don't know if you have the date of that. Okay.
Yep, the 19th.
On the 19th. And Joy's gonna have, I think, a new pattern.
Yeah, that'll be the we'll start doing our we'll talk about the waistcoat. That's what the waistcoat is what it's called. I keep trying to call it wainscoting. It's a waistcoat stitch. And I'll show you how you can do a cross stitch on the crochet, and we'll do a duplicate stitch on the knit fabric. So we'll just start playing. We'll start playing with all things.
The knit hat will just be the stockinette stitch. So that'll be not a new, you don't have to learn a new stitch for that. But the crochet hat, the waistcoat stitch, or the knit crochet stitch is also what it's called. It is, it's basically a way to make your crochet look like a knit stitch. So we're going to go over that and get everybody ready if you want to take your hats to another level and do a new stitch with your crochet. Or if you're crocheting, you want to learn how to knit, like that could be fun, because now you've learned how to carry your thread, whether you're crochet or knit. So the amount of patterns and designs that you can come up with, like somebody was saying, I think in the chat, somebody was saying they were thinking about changing little hearts to pearls. And I got, we must have been great minds think alike at Michael's. I got a bag of pearl beads, and I was thinking of, making sort of like more of like a Swifty bracelet to attach to my hat or something like that. Somebody else did a star crochet and they attached it as like a little dangly. So we're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna be like I don't want to say the Swifties of the knitting world, but whether if you love this pattern, this was the OG. It was definitely a stretch for me as a dabbler in knitting and crochet to do this, but I'm so excited that I learned how to do it because now we're doing you can do so many other things. So get ready.
And Kesley, I put, if anybody wants to visit my website, I have a little tiny blog, has just a few articles. I do it maybe a couple times a year, but I did put pictures of Kesley and I figuring out the pattern as we were sitting with our father who does cross stitch. So if you want to go to craftingwithjoy.com, you can see that, and we'll have information there too.
Awesome. And I love this idea from Donna that you can go to your local craft store, your yarn shop, your quilt shop, and set up a little knit night. So I noticed somebody else in our group was a local person. So and Emily, who did our crochet pattern, she's also local to me. So I think I'm feeling like a vibe in Oakton is going to be happening. A little crochet knitting vibe. So I hope you guys get a chance to do that with your community too. All right. Anything? I think that was everything
we have one more
had.
hand up.
Yeah.
Yes, we have one more hand up.
Donna, yes, I'm so sorry.
I dug out stuff last night. You were talking about putting things on your hat. Maybe some of you did this in 2016. This is what's going to go on my hat.
I love that.
Because everything old is new again.
Yep.
So
Yes.
if some of you still have these things, you might want to pull them out. Because it's appropriate again.
It is. 100%.
And a nice Kamala or Harris Waltz pin on your hat will look good too.
Well,
I
and
love
that was something else I wanted to share. My very favorite artist in the world, Mary Engelbright. I don't know if anybody follows her. She has done some really cute pins, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but this one has
There you go.
That's
Right
good.
joy
there.
on it.
That's good.
So I have to have that, and then of course we have our cat ladies.
Mhm.
And then this gal from Noteworthy, sorry, there's really a bad glare, but
Tilt it. There you go.
Noteworthy on Etsy has these cute little pins too. So yeah, get out your stuff, pull together your things. I'm feeling that whole Swifty friendship bracelet. It's going to be
Mhm.
happening on my hat
I
somewhere.
had a lady who made a little Kamala lotus flower. She knitted it and she sent it to me through you can't see it. There it is. And
Wait,
so
who's it? Who's talking? Who's talking? Where are you? No one
I can see
spotlight
her.
you.
What's her name?
yes,
Vicky
she knitted
Wren.
it. So I'm gonna put it on my hat.
Yes,
So let me
yes.
show us again, Vicky.
Yeah. So she said, oh, sorry, it's hard to see because
The
Oh,
blur.
hold it closer
Yeah,
to
you
your
got it.
face.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on.
yeah, nice.
it's because of my
Yeah,
blurry background.
Yeah, pull it. There you go.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
great.
So yeah, so she
Oh.
made a lotus, a little blue lotus. I saw her on Facebook somewhere. And so I asked her, I said, if I make a donation, would you be willing to send me one? She said, I'll send you one. So
Aw.
she's making them and putting them out in the community. People put rocks out and
Aw.
stuff. And so I wear it on my purse all the time, but wow, it would be great to put on my hat, just pin it on
Oh,
my
I
hat.
love it. I love it. Okay, we have one more question from let me see, let me remove these spots for you guys. Your name is Fire Tablet. Can I spotlight you? You can ask your question.
You're on
Is
a
that
fire.
okay? I'm gonna spotlight you. There you go. If you want to unmute, you can ask her your question about the ribbing.
Oh.
There
Mhm.
she goes. All
Well,
right.
it's me. It's Marla. I don't know how to use
Oh,
technology.
wow, I didn't do it.
Name.
It was beautiful.
Thank you. So it's still too big.
Oh, Okay, here's the thing. Totally get that. They can end up too big or too tight. It looks cute on you though. It looks cute, but I get it. When you're working with the ribbing, whenever you're working with something that's a stretchy
Yes.
anything in garment sewing or anything, generally you need to subtract about half an inch to an inch from whatever your measurement is for the circumference of your head. So when you're measuring your head, mine is 23 and a half inches. So then I'll make my what do you call it, brim, to about 22 and a half, knowing I'm still going to take a half an inch away when I sew that together. So that's how I kind of tighten it up. So I would
Yeah, but
count.
I'm just using your 92 cast on. I mean, if I reduce it by 8, will the star pattern still work out? I mean, how many
Oh,
can I?
sorry, I thought you had the crochet. You have the knit. If
Yeah.
you're using the 92, I would go, are you using a size 8 needle? Knitting needle? Whatever it was that you, but
I mean, I'm using a little tiny, like, look how tiny this is for the
oh,
ribbing. And then I go up to whatever you said, 8 for the blue and the blue area. But
okay,
like, this is like really tinier.
tiny. Then I would say subtract. I would say you should take off.
Is there a certain number? Wasn't there like a
I
number?
mean, what's the increment to still be able to use the star, like start, like knit 3 blue, 1 white, 3 blue, 1 white. So I would have to take off 4 increments of 4.
Yes, increments of,
Okay.
it has to be divisible by 4. But
Okay.
what knitters don't like to do is to do a little gauge swatch. So it's
I did that, but I did it in knit. I did it in stockinette, not ribs.
okay.
So that's where
It's okay.
yeah.
It should be okay. All right, look at how many stitches you get to an inch, measure your head, and then subtract about an inch, and then make that number, whatever that number is, divisible by 4. And that's how many you
Okay.
should cast on.
Okay.
Helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
have
love
Marla.
it, Julie. You did a nice job.
I know it looks really cute.
Do you know it's so funny for me to see a little blonde Kesley talking because you all look so much alike.
I know. I know. We are, it's almost like we're twins, but we're sisters.
All right, awesome. All right, Julie, take us home for the night. We're done. I think that's everything. We've done, everybody. I can share my last screen as well, you know what? I don't want to share our last screen. Go ahead and take us home.
I just want to say from both Kesley and I, deep, deep, deep in our hearts, a huge thank you, deep gratitude to your stick-to-itiveness and your desire to make a change, and for your support for Kamala and Tim Waltz, and for your support for our crazy idea to try to get all the red, white, and blue at the march. And we appreciate everything that you're doing. We want to be your cheerleaders. We want you to cheerlead others. And we really want to see a change happen. And we want to be part of it. So thank you all so very much for spending time with us tonight. Be sure to go back and look at the Zoom links. Sign up for all of our Zoom links. We'll talk about things every time. We'll get to know each other. This is our community. We are friends and we are like-minded people, and we appreciate you every single day. So thank you so very much.
And if we can do a quick last photo, if everyone wants to put their hat on, and if your camera's on, I'll grab a picture of you. We'll get her in. Oh, look at it. I love it. Mary's working hard on hers. Look at that. She's got her hat going. Oh, look, Colleen's looks fancy. Colleen, what is, well, can I spotlight Colleen? Colleen, can I spotlight you? Your rib looks fancy.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me spotlight her for everybody. Look at her fancy. Okay, show us your rib again. You don't have to chat if you don't want to, but look at your fancy rib.
Oh
Pretty.
my
That's
gosh.
beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Let me
Oh,
see.
you're muted, but it's beautiful.
I'm muted. Okay, so
Yeah.
what I did, it's upside down and look at that. Ooh.
I love it. Don't worry.
I started with a half double crochet foundation stitch, which is on YouTube. So I can't explain it like YouTube can, but it's a half double crochet foundation stitch in red. And then I did half double crochet in one set of loops or one post, and then a half double crochet in the back of the next post. So it went like this.
Ah,
And then I
Oh.
just, and I don't know if my camera will
It's
pull
like
it.
that. I think
Oh, that's great.
yeah, so cool. I see
But
it.
it works up really, really fast, especially if you start with that half double crochet foundation, because then you're not fiddling with a strand of yarn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I did. And then I did a row of white and then a row of blue, and then I'll start the little heart stars.
What
So
size is
love
your
it.
hook for that? What size hook did you use?
I use I always grab this hook because it's my favorite. I know it's the gray one, but actually it's an H, which is a 5mm.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
It's
great.
cool.
Thank you, Colleen. Thanks for sharing.
That's
I look like
beautiful.
All right, now I'll go back into the gallery view. Sorry, guys. I love this sharing. This is so cool. Okay, if everyone wouldn't mind putting on your hat, I'll take a quick screenshot of everybody, and we'll just save it. Thank you. Looks awesome. One more. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joy, so much for teaching us and giving us new ideas and inspiration. You just keep it going, and you're amazing. You're awesome. I love it.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everybody.
Tracy. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Happy knitting. When we knit, we win.